Chat, what is up today, boys? Whoa, that is live. Chat popping off. Let's go, boys. Josh, American Crusader, Gunner in the chat. He's early today. You love to see it, dude.
We do. We gotta adjust the main cam. I mean, the skeleton got more. Like I'm off screen here.
Scoot this way. Oh well, I guess I'm off of that camera. Oh man. Oh, that's so terrible. It's the worst.
There we go.
I'm pretty hot too. I got a big head. Do I have a big head or it just looks big in the camera? I think it just looks big in the camera. So they announced a debate yesterday. Nick and
was it
Dinesh?
Okay, because Nick announced it. I don't know if he announced the date until yesterday, but he said he was going to do a debate that they had scheduled it before.
Okay. So I posted on Twitter. I'll ask the guys if they wanted me to do a review, a post-debate review. I guess it ended up being like 9 o'clock or something tonight. Chat, if y'all want to stick around for that, let me know and I'll do it. If not, then I won't. That's kind of how that's going to go. I mean, if it's just me and one other person doing the review, I'll do it. But I'm gonna find some timestamps and then me and Josh will react to it the next day too. If not. If so or if not, I'll do it both ways. Anyway, so given that, I did a little bit of prep, not a ton, did a little bit of prep because I don't know who Dinesh D'Souza other than typical conning Indian, right? It's just copy paste. It's like they have a factory somewhere on the subcontinent and they just pump out Vivek and Dinesh's. And they just pump out Vivek and Dinesh's and they just plaster them all over the Western world. You get a Mumbai, you get a Bangladeshi, you get a Mumbai, you get a Bangladeshi. That's all we get. We just get a bunch of Indians that all these boomers gloat over. Pretty much, Josh. Yeah. So before we get into the Dinesh, Dinesh D'Souza, we're gonna and maybe throw a little Sam Hyde in there. Do a little housekeeping, I guess. We are working on
studio tour video.
Showcase. We'll call it showcase.
That's a good way to put it.
It's not really a tour. We will do a tour, but it's like a showcase. We got a showcase. We got I have memberships. They're not active. I guess YouTube is like reviewing the channel to see if they want to give me the membership monetization. So we'll see if that actually goes through. If not, we'll be on I'll be on X and Rumble. But audio sounds off. Echoey. You know what?
What's the problem?
It's fixed now. Ooh.
Sorry, boys. Theology. Welcome to the chat. How's audio now? Should be good. While you're here, go ahead and give it a like, give it a share. We're going to cover a lot of some of Dinesh's positions. Obviously, I think most of us understand where Nick's position is. They are going to be debating what, Josh?
Israel and Iran and
Israel.
Basically all the conservative rhetoric that we're getting right about now.
All right.
Before
go ahead.
We get into that, since we are talking about Nick today, you and I...
Mm-hmm.
It's totally off topic. Well, not totally, but you and I, we discussed Nick's take on Zohran Mamdani, the new mayor, basically the new mayor of...
Did he convince you back over to his side?
Yes and no.
I knew he did, dude. Nick's a little salesman, too. He's good. He's a speaker.
Here's the thing. Here's what convinced me, though. They are still talking about it on Fox News. And what is the only angle that they're talking about? That he's anti-Israel.
Sure.
So there is some validity to
what else would they have? Well, the Fox News has an obligation to its viewers, as boomer as they are, to defend Israel no matter what. And they can't do it. They can't defend. Well, they have to give this perception of defending America, and in doing so, they are defending Israel. They can't defend it on the basis of race because that's bad. That's Nazi. They can't do it on the basis of Muslim because then it just opens up a can of worms. So they have to defend it on the basis of Israel. And I think basing your political position or your position on someone else based on Fox News is not okay.
It's
saying
not
that
good.
about-
It's not smart. I think.
Well, here's the point: is do you remember the name of the guy who?
I'm
was
not
Fox
saying
News?
it doesn't play a role. I'm not saying that.
Now, this is what I want to say.
Go ahead, finish your point.
The point being is that this guy becoming such a infamous sensation on the right gives us the opportunity to criticize him on the basis that he is a foreigner, on a basis that he is Muslim. Here's the thing, though. We have a very limited audience for now, and they basically, for the most part, already agree with us. So we appreciate you guys, but it's kind of like, for the time being, you and I specifically, we're almost not shouting into the void, but we're in a church. You know, we're preaching to the choir, so to speak. The point being is that the people that are actually shaping the nature of the conversation en masse, the Fox News, is their criticism of him is not that he's a foreigner, is not that he's Muslim, it's that he's anti-Israel. So the point being is we agree that him being there is a problem, but it does matter the reason we're, you know, if they were effective in overthrowing him and getting him out and replacing him with Andrew Cuomo, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to sound like one of the boomer callers where it's like, oh, let the idiot communist Muslim destroy New York City. But it is kind of like they're gonna, like, at this point in time, we can't save them. The only thing we can do is try and change the nature of the conversation, which by the time that has any tangible effect that will save New York City in practice, I mean, either Zoran Mamdani or Andrew Cuomo is going to be the mayor. Both cases aren't good in their own respective ways. So my point is not that you're wrong, but that Nick is also right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree on that position. Maybe I just don't understand his position entirely because I don't watch his show, which is, you know, maybe I should back off of it a little bit. Anyway. I guess.
Dinesh D'Souza.
Yeah. Anyway, we got Mamdani, Indian, trying to run New York City. We have Vivek trying to run for Ohio. We have Dinesh D'Souza trying to do his little Connie thing. How many of those were born in America, Josh?
I would gander 0.
I think Vivek was actually an anchor.
Oh, he was. Yeah, he's an anchor baby.
Which was probably worse. But what I'm saying is they aren't American. They weren't born here. They don't belong here. We can start there. So we're going to get into a little bit of Dinesh D'Souza, but before we do that, I got a couple of Sam Hyde clips that we can take a peek at. What is going on?
Do what you do, you cannot help it.
This is here. Let me catch up with chat before we start jumping down. Audio is better. I'm not worthy of memberships. I mean, it's been like a week or two, so maybe not. Dinesh was born in India. He wasn't an anchor baby. Yeah, Dinesh is not an anchor baby. Dinesh was born in Mumbai. If I'm no longer no one. Oh, is there there must be a system inside of YouTube.
Oh,
to get people to watch. Hey, let's do it, dude. But yeah, this is Sam Hyde on Raw Talk. If you haven't watched this interview, it was good, but you can cut out all the Mayhem's parts and just get the Sam Hyde, and it's like 15 minutes long. But this is, dude, this is my political position. This is a lot of people's political positions right now. We're just going to dive in, take a look, and see what happens.
In the American history, do you think that should have stopped?
Because that's what America is based on.
When they started letting Hispanics in.
When we expanded
from like the more eastern half to the western half and took more, and that's when.
I'm not real big on history. I don't know anything. I'm kind of a stupid guy.
Because it was Mexico.
Yeah,
That's what happened.
I'm not interested in like arguments or what's fair. I don't think anybody really is interested in arguments or what's fair. It's kind of like if we're talking and I'm losing the argument, but somehow like what you're saying is like not fair, I would just be like, but don't you think it's not fair?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like
I'm not talking about anything being fair.
No. I'm just saying like this idea that stuff has to be logical, fair, well reasoned, historically accurate, etc. That's all. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like all I care about is my people. I don't care about anything else. I just don't. It's post argument. It's not like I'm not listening to arguments anymore, and I don't want people that listen to me and are fans of me to listen.
Dude, Mayhem was so obstructive that entire conversation. But
yeah, I've
the
seen
point.
so many clips, and it's like, why did he bring that guy?
He was funny. It wasn't informative, but he was funny. But no, Sam's exactly right. No one cares about fair anymore.
Or they shouldn't. And that's
people
what we've
that
talked
actually
about.
care don't care about fair. Because they understand that fair only means Americans lose. Right. Because in this marketplace of ideas, if we play fair and just, quote unquote, I mean, it's just Jewish word tricks at this point. If we play fair and just, then we lose our inheritance. Right. It's not about fair and just. It's about what's right. And what's right is not thieving from our forefathers. What's right is not being Jacob and stealing from Esau, right? This is the problem, is that we're just giving any foreigner what they want if they have some IQ over like 95 off of merit, quote unquote. Like we don't care about that anymore. We're losing everything we have because of quote unquote fairness. What's fair is a father giving his son the inheritance that he worked for his son for, and then just relaying that generation over generation. Mm-hmm. What's not fair is giving it to a foreigner that just got here. Dinesh, Vivek, Mamdani, go down the list. That's if you were going to argue what's fair, that's what's fair, but they don't want to argue what's fair. They want to argue however parasitic they can be, right? This is a parasitic people. All of these, it's not just the Indians. Can I scroll over? No, I can't. It's not just the Indians. It's everybody. I mean, this is just one example. This is India's remittance numbers going through the roof on, why is it? Well, I want to let me zoom out. Anyway, going through the roof, right?
I think you have to do it in the tab.
Let's see, 135. Can I zoom out in tab? Oh, wrong button.
There you go.
Is that better? Yeah, so this is, I mean, it's not just India. I mean, we're just picking out India today because you have Mamdani and whatever his name is. I mean, I can't even pronounce it. Let's go to the Civil War registry and see if his name's on there. It's not. It's obviously not. And we definitely know that Dinesh D'Souza's isn't not. D'Souza. How you spell that, Josh? Because I know you were having trouble on the title, and it ain't your fault. This is America.
Yeah. I shouldn't have to worry about dinga dinga donga dinga.
If you have apostrophes and dashes and slashes and whatever else in your name, you're getting deported. That's baseline. Number 2, you speak English, you can stay. You don't, you get deported. You tell me your name, if you do speak English, and it's got lines and dashes and apostrophes and quotations and whatever else, you're getting deported. We're making a list. We're going down it. We're just making a list. You're getting deported.
If I can talk to you on the phone for an hour and tell you everything you said, you should be fine.
Dude, okay, so we put in for a home equity loan, right? And so they have to run your credit. And when you run your credit, you might not have done this yet for a car or a house or any larger purchase. They send, like it notifies everyone, hey, that we pulled your credit for a large purchase. And so what happens is they can pull that phone number from the registry, and he said you're getting deported, Vandernoord. Vandernoord is Dutch?
Dutch, yeah.
He can stay.
I founded the
He can
country.
stay. Anyway, they get your number. And so I'm used to getting scam calls like once a day, twice a day, maybe. Dude, it's like 6 or 7 times a day. And without fail, for like the last 2 weeks, every single one is some Indian trying to put on an American accent. Like you can tell they're Indian trying to un-Indian themselves. The worst part is they get local numbers too.
They can't undo the head bob.
They get local numbers. Like I got an Indian friend.
I know. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Like I got an Indian friend, dude. I use him a lot because I talk to him a lot. And he's my scapegoat. He's like I got a black friend. I don't have one of those. But maybe I need to get one. Do I need to get one, Josh? Where's Malarkey at? Malarkey counts.
Hey, I've got one. I've got a black friend who's racist. He's pro-Trump. When you get them like that, they're good to have. You know?
But yeah, well, you can tell they're Indian, and then they'll get the local numbers, and it's just like, dude, 843. You don't sound like 843, dog. Anyway, you just hang up. Anyway, that was a little rant on that one.
Have you seen? Speaking of Sam Hyde, I can't repeat it out here because it'd be bad. But he talked about how he was put down as a what do you call it, a reference or a cosigner for like a friend's car, and he completely forgot. And the bank started calling him about stuff, and he thought it was a scam. He thought it was a scam call, and he said his go-to, and he goes, they're like, "Hey, is this Samuel Hyde?" And he goes, "Are you a black man?" Like, he totally forgot.
That's funny. But yeah, no, I mean they're obviously Indian, but it's not like they're trying to suppress their Indian accent. They're trying to sound American, which is different, and specifically Southern because they know where we're located. It's odd and it doesn't work. But anyway, I just wanted to point this out that Indian diaspora sent home $135 billion in the last fiscal year. The highest on record, right? It's just going to keep going up naturally. It's not just India, it's Mexico. Mexico's, I think it's like 5% of Mexico's GDP is remittance tax or is remittance.
Something like that, yeah.
And so my position is remittances need to be taxed 100%. Remittance shouldn't be a thing. So we're going to dive into some of Dinesh's other stuff today. Before that, here is Mr. Dinesh. And actually, I didn't know this until yesterday that he is, Brandon Gill?
Not by name.
He's a congressman, Brandon Gill. Is apparently married to Dinesh's daughter.
Okay.
He says, here's her father-in-law eating naan with his hands. Should we send him back? This is in response to Brandon Gill talking about Zohan says the worldview is inspired by the third world eating rice with his hands. Right? This is him eating rice with his hands. This is what they do.
Yeah.
Like, dude, like, you want to talk about assimilation? Just like one little baby step. Like if it's real, one little baby step is not being barefoot everywhere you go, Vivek, Ramaswamy, not being finger lickers eating rice. Like I can understand eating a cheeseburger or like a sandwich, like a bread is literally edible plate.
Well,
but rice?
Yeah. A sandwich, like it's totally different, and also, like,
you know what else?
Do they have
what's that stupid food stuff?
Look at him. You know he's in New York because he's in a campaign. It's clearly a campaign ad. He's outside. He probably got that from a street vendor. He's not going to wash his hands before he eats it.
You ever watch the Africans eat fufu too? Like they're so proud of their fufu. They're so proud of their little ball of.
I don't know what you're saying to me.
You don't know what fufu is?
Oh, it's like, are you about to show me some nasty shit?
No, it's like this. This is what it is. It's just Africans eating mushed up rice instead of being rice. It's like a ball of flour doughy rice, and they pinch it off and they dip it in some type of like stew beef looking stuff with their fingers, and they go. Chat, you like that?
All right.
That's what we need to do. We need to start ASMR
we do
and
racist
foo-foo.
ASMR. We'll get the blackest person we can find and have them eat foo-foo. We'll get your Indian friend and have him eat rice with his hands.
We'll just go down the street, pick one up off the street, and say, "Hey, you want $5 to eat some foo-foo on a microphone?" Foo-foo and watermelon. Let's go, boys.
A Jew to slurp up some adrenochrome.
But this is what we're looking at, right? So this is Brandon Gill. Oh, now you want to play? Civilized people in America don't eat like this. Agreed. I agree. If you refuse to adopt Western customs, go back to the third world. Yeah, Dinesh. Anyway, this is what we're dealing with, boys. This is what we're dealing with. We're gonna pull up Stephen. We just need to @ Stephen Miller deport Dinesh. Let's start that campaign. Deport Dinesh. Again, before we dive into some of the actual substance of what Dinesh pushes, we are going to look at another Sam Hyde. I know we're talking about Nick and Dinesh today, but I mean Sam Hyde's position is the correct one, so we're going to push that for now. Because this debate, should it happen?
I think that the only reason Nick is doing this is because no one else will debate him. I mean, and like you said, you barely even knew who Dinesh D'Souza was.
Huh?
Oh, he only debates people with more
Well,
than 11 viewers.
Well, Sam made a video about. He said the video is Dear Vivek. Let me actually pull it up over here. Well, it might be better to watch it in this window. Anyway, he made a video called Dear Vivek, and he said during this. Well, he actually says it right here. Let me see if I can rewind it.
Yeah, I'll never forget when I was in middle school. I can't even read that on camera. By the best-selling author of Woke Inc. right here.
I actually have that.
Truths. The Future of America First. Luckily, this is written at a 4th grade reading level. So pretty much anybody can pick this up and start to rock.
No.
And then we have Nation of Victims, which is all about how you and I, because we had sleepovers and fun childhoods and our moms didn't make us play violin, how we should be replaced by Indians. That's the last chapter this book is about. But some of this stuff is pretty spicy, man. Let me open this up here. Right here, yeah. I'll never forget when I was in middle school. I can't even read that on camera. It was when I turned 33 that I realized I was addicted to making men gay like B. Diddy. I'm not going to spoil it for you guys, but this Vivek, these books, this is some, and actually, no joke, the first word I saw is homosexuality, so it's not that far off here. Oh, that's a harsh allegation. For example, there's no such thing as a gay gene. Yeah, hell yeah. So I was told that if I wanted to have Vivek Ramaswamy on the show, I would have to read all 4 of his books because he didn't want to have a remedial conversation. So that's why.
That's a very Indian thing.
Of course, yeah.
Like if that's true, which I assume it is.
You would buy my book and then we would talk. I would not do it. Good.
That's a very Indian thing to do. Like
they're cheap, and
I have these.
What's the word I'm looking for? Like, it's what makes them like strivers.
Like
they're like status.
It's like a credential. It's like credentialist.
Yeah.
Where I'm not going to talk to you unless you understand all of my arguments by reading my books and buying them, paying me to come debate you or speak with you.
Yeah.
Whether it's true or not, the point stands.
It's because we got to get Vivek on the show.
Is that from Vivek or from?
That was from Vivek, yeah. Any page you open this up to, I promise you it's going to be just glop. Random page, 142 of truths. I have my doubts.
Dude, that's my favorite, man. Just grabbing a book and random paging it, and it's exactly what you thought. Because the whole book is exactly that, just like I did it the other day. The whole book is exactly that. You don't need the whole thing to understand what it is. A lot of this, especially the Vivek types. I mean, Dinesh D'Souza's written 12 books. You got that much to talk about? 12 books?
Yeah, it's no one.
It's all fluff that's getting pushed by Con Inc. and New York Times to subsidize the minds of the boomer.
Yeah, there were 12 disciples. 4 of them, 2 of them wrote gospels, and the other 2 were by disciples of those disciples, and that's God's word. Dinesh D'Souza does not have more to say than God.
Yeah.
Nobody has that much to say.
Ann Coulter is actually, that's in italics, more ready to vote for the great-grandson of a Jamaican immigrant than she is for the grandson of an Anglo-Saxon British lord. This is what people care about.
Wait,
Lord,
say that again?
son of a Jamaican immigrant than she is for the grandson. Alex,
Sorry, chat.
more ready to vote. I have my doubts about whether Ann Coulter is actually, that's in italics, more ready to vote for the great-grandson of a Jamaican immigrant than she is for the grandson of an Anglo-Saxon British lord.
Before we get to that, I do have that clip loaded up somewhere here, Josh. Where is it? Where is it? Any, mini, miny.
Boom.
Mo?
Ann Coulter, I think you and her are, on a show together. You're doing something together. And she asked this question. I just want to get your reaction on it. I'm going to play this clip.
That's why I brought on today somebody who I think has some thoughtful perspectives on the future.
I think Vivek wrote that book before he brought Ann Coulter on, which is hilarious because then she says exactly that here.
And on this question of nationalism and national identity, somebody who've been fascinated by for a long time.
Can you fast forward to when she says it?
Interacted with on social media, but for the first time we're having a live informed conversation in the offline sense of it. It's Ann Coulter. So Ann, thanks for coming on, and I'm looking forward to our conversation.
Me too. Thanks for having me. That was a fantastic opening monologue. I too am a fan of yours. So I'm going to make a point of disagreeing with you so that it will be fun. You are so bright and articulate, and I guess I can call you articulate since you're not an American black. Can't say that about them. That's derogatory. And that was a great opening segment. Lots of things to talk about there. Oh, and I agree with many, many things you said during, in fact, probably more than most other candidates when you were running for president. But I still would not have voted for you because you're an Indian. We'll get back to that.
Just skip over the racism. But first of all, did you know she was? Because it seems like when you guys are starting, there's a little bit of tension. I don't know if there was like pre-getting started where there was tension or not.
You're pretty good at picking that up, man. So to give you the context here. So I ran this podcast during the presidential campaign. It was called Truth.
Yeah.
I took some time off after the campaign, and now
So we did write the book
before that.
Yeah, I'm assuming because
so
this was a book tour, probably.
Relaunched the Truth podcast. Just relaunched it officially last week. So get that up on the ground. We'd have good conversations. Right. And I wanted to pick on some people who had poked me a little bit on social media or in other ways to be able to, it's kind of boring to just talk about everybody who agrees with the same thing.
Right.
But let's get a little bit of tension from the left, from the right. So I'll bring Ann Coulter on because during the campaign, I don't remember what exactly she said, but on numerous instances would comment on ways in which
we need to get Ann Coulter and Sam Hyde together. And just let them have a conversation. You don't think so?
I don't think Ann Coulter's that entertaining other than stuff like this.
You don't think Sam Hyde could bring it out in her?
They could, but I don't think, she's still a woman. I wouldn't vote for you because you're an Indian. I wouldn't watch a thing with her because she's a woman. Women, they don't have that much to add. And I think the same goes for her. Yeah, she's racist, but she dates
it's not that she's racist. She called Trump before everybody else was on board. She is OG MAGA.
Good for her. But what about now?
Well, here's the problem is, maybe you're right. It's
there you go.
What's it? Wary's Law. I think it's called Wary's Law, where a woman has to say a thing before it becomes mainstream enough to say it without.
She served her purpose.
Where's Wary's Law? I'll find it on Twitter in a minute. Chat, where we at? Law, nice, solid comment. That's the chat we like to see, boys. I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. Really hope Vivek goes on Sam's show because Sam read all 4 of his books for him. Oh, I never even finished that clip. We're gonna finish that clip here in a second. He said I just threw it in Chat GPT to summarize it for me. I'm not gonna lie, like Dinesh, he's a Jeet and a boomer and has to go back eventually, but all the Jeets, he's at least fairly pro-America, unlike the poser known as Vivek.
But here's the thing, I want to make this point real quick. Here's the thing you have to understand about the good ones is they are still, when push comes to shove, they are in favor of the race. You see this with blacks, you see this with Indians, you see this with all of them, is when push comes to shove, they will not defend the decision to deport them on the basis of their race or the basis of the fact that they were not born here, a foreigner. They might be in favor of a lot of our ideas, but it's not good enough. Ultimately, at the end of the day, what someone like Dinesh does is actually more destructive than the ones that are just outright anti-white, because he convinces white people, oh, there are some good ones. And the problem is then, well, here's this really good one. That's who they're going to shove in your face. And so it's going to cause you to, whether you realize it or not, ignore the fact that the majority of them are not on the same page.
That is a play in their book. It's the same thing that they do with abortions, right? And they say, you're pro-life,
Perfect.
what about rape? You're pro-life, what about incest? You're pro-life, what about... They always use exceptions to skirt the rule. And this is the same thing that goes with Vivek and Dinesh and Mambani eventually, is that they throw out these exceptions to the rule to say, hey, we don't need to deport the anchor baby Vivek. Richard Yellow.
Yeah, and this is perfect. Vivek's a perfect example, because it's like, wow, what does it say that a foreigner is more American than the people in Ohio? He's not more American. You have to think of him, even though he says things that we like, you have to think of him as an infiltrator. Because the thing is,
the dude ran for president and he's an anchor baby. Like let that sink in.
Yes. And that's the thing. That's the thing, is it's like, that matters. And just because he says things we like, just because he's better than the alternative on policy and stuff like that, we need to, that is what got us here in the first place. The quote unquote good ones is why we're dealing with, like Sam Hyatt, you pulled up a clip earlier, we didn't show it, but he's talking about going in Chicago. There's women with children shouting. Okay, you did. Anyway, like, we live in the middle of nowhere, South Carolina, and I got vagabonds and dirty old black guys on bicycles knocking on my window.
We can't even go to the gas station,
in line
dude.
at Chick-fil-A. Yeah,
you ever seen the
I'm
gas
getting
station?
harassed.
You ever seen the gas station?
And that's the thing.
With,
that's what the good ones do. You have to think of it. We like them, we don't hate people, but they are the Trojan horse for the rest of them.
Wrong button.
They're the Trojan horse. They're the Trojan horse for the rest of them. And that's what you have to think of. You can be nice to them. You can be friends with them, but you can't vote for them. That's the problem. Did someone say go off?
Yeah, I was trying to cut you off. I just kept thinking about the meme of the guy pumping the gas and he's just looking around like this. You can't relax, dude. You can't relax. There's actually a guy that was about to get robbed, turned around and shot two black boys that were about to rob him. And now he's going to prison because he wasn't provoked. Like, what do you want me to do? Get stabbed first?
Yes, that is what they want you to do. They want you to get stabbed.
This is an issue. Richard, welcome to the chat. I feel like he's been here before. Maybe it's been. Anyway, welcome.
Richard,
is that Dinesh? That was Vivek, but I would argue there's no difference. I thought he wrote The Sixth Sense. We were talking a second ago. Dinesh D'Souza wrote 12 books that have all gone like New York Times bestsellers. Like, how do you spot someone that's astroturfed?
And shouldn't that tell you enough? Shouldn't that tell you enough that they're New York Times bestsellers? It just goes to show you that someone like Dinesh D'Souza, the good ones, they're not even moving the meter. But he went to Dartmouth.
He went to Dartmouth, Josh. He's got these credentials. He went to Dartmouth and he started Dartmouth Review and he was a political analyst for Reagan. He's got all of these credentials, Josh. He's got all these. He's an American.
Is he that old?
He's an American. Yeah, dude. Okay, so when I was looking up pictures of Dinesh D'Souza before this stream to do thumbnails, dude, I need to pull some of them up, dude. You want a physiognomy check somebody?
Here's the thing.
This is insane.
Here's the thing. That's the one advantage. Well, maybe not the one, but like an advantage of like in Indians and blacks, they kind of look the same their entire life. Like Ryan Gosling, is going to age like milk.
Let's do it like
that's because he's beautiful. but like someone like Dinesh, they're just kind of like baseline their entire lives.
I'm just gonna
Google one advantage they got.
Dinesh D'Souza. I'm gonna I should probably pull it up on the other side. I'm gonna pull up. Let's see, Dinesh. D'Souza. We're just gonna look at some of these images. We're gonna physiognomy check, right? Eeny, meeny, miny. What is this? Can y'all see that, chat? No, you can't. Physiognomy check. Yeah. Let's keep our mouth shut next time. Good choice there. Good choice. We're gonna scroll down. I want to see one of his younger pictures. Right. This is Dinesh D'Souza in like the early 90s, dude. Like, what do we like? The physiognomy check here, boys. Regardless of if he's Indian or not, this shouldn't be anywhere near running the country.
It shouldn't be anywhere near my eyes. We shouldn't have to look at this.
Mega, make education great again so that I can flex my credentials on you. Because I've wrote 12 books, dude. Do you know that, Josh? I wrote 12 books, bestsellers.
Wow, you must be really smart.
Yep, I did it. Me too. Yep, I did it.
Should I buy them? How many, Dinesh? Should I buy every single one of them? What pages should I read? All of them?
All of them, obviously.
Oh, okay. Neat.
Arguments either. Like the time for arguments and reasoning, it's over. It's been proven that it goes nowhere, and it's time to just.
How long has Charlie Kirk and this TP USA, Con Inc., Daily Wire, Debate Me Bro type stuff been going on? This marketplace of ideas, this free trade of ideas, right? We know capitalism has failed.
Yeah.
Let's just take that from a monetary system and apply it to a idea system. It's the same thing. It's a failed system. It doesn't work. No one cares about being fair and just. Nobody cares about debate. They only want what is good for themselves, which is fine. I don't say that in a way that they shouldn't be, right? You should be, but that's the problem. You need to go do that in your home, not mine. I don't need you coming into my home trying to justify why you're eating out of my refrigerator.
Yeah.
You catch a bullet.
It's like, I get, like, it is enshrined in our law, unfortunately, at this point. But, you know, it's like...
I don't care about that either.
When a cop pulls you over, you see all these videos of black people, and they're like, why are you doing it? Why you do... Like, they should not have to tell you. I mean, like, in a white society, it makes sense, you know, because there's accountability. But clearly, it's like... Why do you need to understand why? Like, why do I need to explain to you why what you're doing is wrong?
So my cousin is a retired, I think he's retired, law enforcement officer. Literally sent me an article this morning saying that, Darlington's like 20 miles away.
Mm-hmm.
A cop was ambushed at his home and killed.
Really?
Yeah. Why would anyone want to be a law enforcement officer when you're getting killed, not even on the clock, not even at a traffic stop, in your own home? You get ambushed simply because of trying to provide society with order. I'm not a blue line activist. I'm not a police can't do no wrong, but that. Like what line has to be crossed to realize, hey, some people just can't live in a Western society?
Well, and this is something Nick said that I think is like, we need to have a 10-year period where if you get pulled over, a cop can just kill you. Now they exercise their own discretion, but it's like, if you litter, they're going to run you off the road and light up your car.
I would agree with you if this was 10 years ago.
Yeah, you get the jit. Like, sure. It's like, if it were a white police officer, you know, like if it were 10 years ago and it was like I get called on you and I find like a baby in the stove, they can just light you on fire in the driveway.
I'm fine with that.
Something like that. Judge Dredd. I want Judge Dredd.
Let's see. Jump on chat real quick. Can we get a physiognomy check on Josh?
What do you want to see?
Inbreeding takes its toll. Yes. What's up, world champions? Lord of the Ring, welcome to the chat. We are... I got a little bit more energy today than I did yesterday. But guys, Dinesh went to prison for campaign finance fraud.
You're telling
He
me.
didn't go to prison. He went to a halfway house for 6 months. So anybody who tells you he went to prison is a liar.
What is it? What does that mean? What's a halfway house? I don't know.
Like a house arrest with other people. I'm pretty sure.
Oh.
Let's do one of those Googles.
He probably had internet access. I mean, what's the big deal?
Oh, they still do, dude. They all do.
Oh, dude, can you imagine? Can you imagine being like in a halfway house, and then they bring an Indian in, and he's going to be there for 6 months with you? Oh, that would suck.
Let's use Gemini. A community residence for serving part or all sins. Yeah, it's a house arrest with other people. Like that actually sounds fun. Like that's what I did. That's what the Marine Corps was for 5 years. I was on house arrest, community house arrest for 6 years in the Marine Corps. Dinesh D'Souza gets 6 months. I think it was actually fined $30,000 too, but don't care.
Well, he's got 12. He's got 12 New York Times bestselling.
Yeah, dude. He's got the entire arm of the Republican Party and conservative Inc. pushing him, just like
presidential pardon as well.
He does have a presidential pardon. Josh, if you got a presidential pardon, do you think it maybe might sway your position on a few things?
Worry about yourself, worry about your people, and like take care of your circle.
And your perspective is like that. This is kind of going back to the white genocide thing again. That's orchestrated.
Partially, yeah. I think the Mexicans who are rioting, I don't think most of them are orchestrating anything other than the
I don't think he gets back to it. We got the point of the clip that I wanted to see, which was nobody cares about merit, nobody cares about fair, nobody cares about just anymore. We just want what's good for our people, which is what you ought to do. I don't blame you for that, but we have to recognize that Dinesh D'Souza is not our people.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't belong here. The same way with Vivek and Mambani. I mean, all of these guys are not American. And so any attack on Mambani outside of, he doesn't like Israel, is an attack on Dinesh D'Souza and Vivek. These guys that have been here for so long, but they've become, the boomers have become numb to their foreignness. Is that a thing? I think so. You just see it. It's like a fish in water.
Yes, it's like it's what black people talk. Because like, here's the thing: is
talk about our privilege.
Well, yeah, because like there is something to be said. The boomers want to hand wave away the insecurity that comes with being a minority anywhere, no matter who you are. If you are a white person and you go to an all-black country and you stick out like a sore thumb, you do feel that. You are aware of that. You know, people looking at you, even if it's just because you caught their eye, like there is this baseline of insecurity that comes with that. Boomers want to act like it's no big deal. That is absolutely true. But my thing is like America has allowed, I think that is good. We want people that are foreigners to have a certain level of insecurity because think of it the reverse way. I want to have the security that comes with being around those that are like me, those that think like me, those that pray like me, those that behave like me. I want to be around that because I will be more comfortable. I will be happier in that state. If you want to come here and be away from your culture, be away from your heritage, and you're like a brain surgeon that we couldn't find anywhere else, fine. You know what? Fine. We'll let it happen. But you don't then get the privilege to have that same level of comfort that you would have if you were back home in China. You know, but that's the thing is we've allowed it to persist to where they may have had a baseline level of insecurity coming in, but they don't even have that anymore. Like Dinesh, he was probably like, are they going to make fun of me if I eat with my hands? And then enough white people just kind of, you know, they just didn't say anything. They just like, I guess we'll go back to eating like human beings.
Talking about tolerance.
And then tolerating it. And then he got comfortable. And that's like what the Hispanics coming in now. When a billion Hispanics come in and they all go to the exact same place, and they're around the people that just got there with them, that speak Spanish, that behave like Spanish people, that behave like Mexicans, there is no insecurity. And it like when we are the ones that cave, we are the ones that lose. We need to get back to making fun of people for being different. And this doesn't mean being harsh, it doesn't mean being cruel, but we need to preserve us over them.
Yeah, it's like that meme.
Bring back embarrassment. Make embarrassment great again.
Have you seen Inglourious Bastards? The meme from there when he's holding up the 3?
Yes.
This is exactly what happens with the Viveks and the Mambanis and the Dinesh D'Souza's. This is what happens is they put on this front, but at their core they're Indian, and they will never get past a little slip of the mask, and it will always be there. Before we dive into some other stuff, we have some new people in the chat. Ferdinand Van Zeppelin asked to send energy to Nick. Yeah, well, we just... Josh is a Nick fan, but
Groiper.
I appreciate Nick's work in a fashion, right? I agree with him on a lot of things, but I disagree with him on some. So stick around. Maybe you'll have some disagreements with me. Maybe I'll teach him something, Josh. Maybe I'll teach him something.
I doubt it.
Anyway, but no, thank you for being here. Same thing with Wild Randy, European only country, American only country. Yes, deport all
genetic
non-Americans. Let's see. I want to live in a high trust society. Well, the only way you get a high trust society is homogeneity. And there's only a few groups of people that will allow that, even as a homogenous people.
I mean, even, let's be honest, most homogeneous countries that still exist aren't high trust. African countries, India.
And Japan is going to fall soon anyway, just because of their birth rate and replacement. Spanish people are good European people. So
I said Spanish. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Come on.
I'll say this. So I spent a lot of time in Spain. They are lazy. They're nice. I don't know if good would be the right word, but they are lazy.
Man. They didn't whip the Aztecs in line like we did with the Native Americans.
They didn't. They inbred with them. That's where you get your castizas. This is where you get your
lazy bastards sleeping in on Sundays. The Aztecs are chopping kids off on the same day. They're like, I cannot do it.
They were doing it at their temple for sure. Breakout, welcome. The moment my eyes were open and I went down a few rabbit holes, I became a groiper. Lol.
Groiper.
You're not the only one. I mean, that's kind of how the pipeline goes. If you're a groiper long enough, you become not a groiper. Speaking from experience. If you start thinking for yourself, you're not longer a groiper. No, just kidding. Am I going to live stream the debate? I'm not going to be able to live stream the debate. What I will do is I will either record it or be able to pull it up, and then I'm going to do an immediate debate review so that I can pause it and speak to it after watching the debate. That way I can add a little bit more to the conversation. So if you're new here, if you don't mind, give a subscribe. I'll be live probably around 9 o'clock tonight, and then we'll go tomorrow. We'll pick up some of the clips from the debate and do that. So if you can, like this stream and give it a subscribe on there. We go live almost every day. I say 2:30, but usually it's 2:45ish because Josh has to like work or something. Idiot.
Here's the thing. You're the one that quit your job to do this full time. Yet whenever I pull up after getting off my 8-hour shift, you're never in here. Well, that's not true. That's not true.
Yeah, that's not true.
But what do you do?
Everything, dude. I got a 3-week-old dog. That's what I do right now. I got a 3-week-old.
So we've been doing this for 6 months. What were you doing before that?
I was prepping before that. I was building it. What are you talking about? Chat, we got a studio showcase coming out here pretty soon, probably end of the week if I can get it done. But let's see, Torres, that Vegeta's getting cooked. Yeah, I think he is too. I don't think it'll even be crazy. They're debating, like we said.
I wonder if he even knows who Nick is.
He has to.
I mean, he has to, but like.
Well, there was a point.
You know what? This might be the problem is that because he's Indian, he thinks he can do it because he's like the Jews are smart enough not to debate Nick because they know, even though they believe it, they know that to even allow the debate to be had is bad. Dinesh D'Souza, he obviously he has less of a stake in it,
Yeah, there was a point when Nick was banned on Twitter prior to him coming back on, where the Daily Wire guys basically admitted to watching Nick's stream and pulling either counterpoints or using the points that he made on his stream to then push for themselves. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. They said they had interns watch the show every night and report back.
I think Jeremy Boring actually watched the show. I don't think he had interns. I think some of them were actually watching the show. But this is what they do. They take our position. The same thing with Charlie Kirk, right? Charlie Kirk, like 8 months ago, was talking about legal immigration is good. We need all the legal immigration. Charlie Kirk was on Elon's side in the Great War of
the Jeet War. The Jeet War.
Christmas of 25, right? They wanted more legal immigration. We want big, beautiful gates. We want a big, beautiful wall, which we haven't gotten, with a massive gate. Let all the legals in that we can get. See, this is their position. This was their position like, 6-7 months ago? And now they are taking up our position. Just almost overnight, Mike Lee's position switched just because he was badgered on Twitter. He wanted to sell off all this land to build housing, but he didn't understand that if you deport people, housing just appears, right? If you deport people from houses, things just appear, Josh.
Mm-hmm.
And so if we put pressure on people like this, they will move the needle. I know y'all's position on that isn't quite the same as mine. I'll take a little win when I can get it. Eventually, we will move the needle far enough. Because if we are right, which we are, then they will adopt our position because they don't like losing debates, which is what's going to happen tonight. Worst Trump impression of all time. Josh can do it. Josh, you do it. Big, beautiful wall.
We're going to build a big, beautiful wall. It kind of sounds like an impression of everyone else who does a Trump impression.
An impression of an impression.
Yeah. It's not quite as good as... what's his name? Shane Gillis. Shane Gillis does like an action. It's kind of like how... You know what it is? It's like everyone can do an Arnold Schwarzenegger impression where they're like, I get to the job, but it's like it actually doesn't sound like him. Like there's very few people that can do like a really good Arnold. I feel like there's very few people that can do a really good Trump.
All right, Jim from Florence also here. Never again apologize. Yes, no more apologizing. We're done apologizing. Not going to happen anymore. We are the Native Americans.
My ancestors were slaughtered.
I was trying to explain this to somebody the other day. America didn't exist before Amerigo Vespucci, or Christopher Columbus, call it what you will. It doesn't matter at this point. It's like they weren't Native Americans because America didn't exist.
You want to hear something funny?
I like funny things.
The very first time. I used to have a Saturday show on a radio station. It's been canceled very recently.
For what, Josh? For what?
Anti-Semitism. But basically, the very first time I got in trouble was actually Joe Aniello, Dr. Joe. He's been on our channel a few times. He's been on this show. He called in, and he is much more sympathetic to the American Indians than I would like him to be.
Mm-hmm.
But
dude,
basically,
how can you be more sympathetic? And they have a nation within our nation. Like they don't have to follow our own laws.
Well, exactly. So he was like saying that, and then this was like before I knew him well, and I was like, "Thank you, Joe, for calling in." But basically, what I said was, I was like, they were called savages because they behaved savagely. And here's the thing. We didn't steal America from them. We rescued America from them. They were America was always here, and we just had to discover it. We had to dig it up and create it while they were hindering the land. We rescued America from the Indians. It's always been ours. We just had to come find it.
Yeah, another thing is the Indians had no sense of property rights. Like they have no concept of ownership of land. This is why they were nomadic people.
Steal our women.
So
well, we got to be careful. Johnny, what's his name? Johnny Yellowhawk was in the chat a second ago.
So we can't steal a thing from someone that doesn't own it, right? If they don't own it, you can't steal it from them. So
here's the thing, though. You're almost doing exactly what they want. It's like, ooh, we got you in a contradiction. You think they care? They don't care. That's the point. Is it just they're like, well, you stole our land. I'm like, it's mine now. I mean, what do you want? Bye-bye. It's like, well, you tricked our ancestors. And I'm like, look, I mean, that sucks for you, but it's clearly we're better at running a society. It's ours.
We conquered the land. You are invading our land, trying to conquer our land. It is perfectly and reasonable for me to fight back against that.
100%, 100%.
Josh.
They're savages. They're stinky. They wear feathers because they don't know how to make pants.
I saw a video they sent 500 Marines recently to modify the border wall. They are doing some things with the barbed wire, making it stretch or something so that they can use it like towels to put over it. All right, so maybe a little story here before we dive back into. Yeah, Josh is good at impressions, like a lot of impressions. I want to get, dude. I want to get Josh to do a Tim Dillon impression. Chat, does he look like Tim Dillon a little bit?
I feel like I could. I'd be too. I haven't tried it before. I'd be too shy to do it live and on the spot. But
chat, one for a Tim Dillon impression skit.
Here's the thing, though.
You got to be more gay, though.
He's got a little bit of rasp in his voice. We can surmise where that came from, and that's tough to replicate. Which the method of how he achieved that rasp, I will not be replicating. So we'll do our best. I don't know.
I'll just get you to yell and scream for a full day, and then you can come in hoarse one day. He says he saw the video of Marines. So when I was in the Marine Corps, we did fast company, which was like a QRF to different places, embassies, things like that. And so a part of that was laying. It's called C-wire, Constantina wire. It's like a combination of barbed wire and razor wire, just different. And dude, we laid miles of this stuff. I'm talking about miles of it. Like we were professional Constantina wire layers. Like we would lay a single row, another row beside it, stack it up on top with another row, put E-stakes on it, then stack another one on top of that. Dude, we were like professional wall builders with this C-wire stuff. And it is not fun to work with. So if they did that, if they sent Marines down there 500, we were working with like 25. So we were a platoon. They sent 500 Marines. I'm just going to try and do some quick math. Dude, they could probably lay a couple miles a day of C-wire if they're doing that, which is good. I mean, it's better than nothing. Wild Randy said, for telling the truth, dog. Talking about anti-Semitism. Why you get kicked off.
Oh, yeah. And literally, and that was me being tame. Like what I got kicked off for was saying that, literally what I got kicked off for was saying that what the Israelis are doing in Gaza is, what did I say? That it was overdoing it. Like, yeah, you have to respond to a terrorist attack, but if you watch any of the videos, it's clearly a bit much. That is what I got kicked off for.
Really?
This is run by Boomer. Yeah. They told me, they go, you called it, I called it a genocide, but it is.
Accurate.
I mean, that's what they're saying pretty much without, like, if you read between the lines. And then he goes, you didn't mention the Hamas attack. And I was like, I'm pretty sure I did, because I said, yeah, you got attacked and you should retaliate, but blowing up a hospital to kill one guy and blowing up, like, seems a bit excessive.
That's anti-Semitic, Josh.
Yeah.
Is what it is. That's what we're here for. We're here to tell the truth.
They're dispensationalists.
We're here to tell the truth, regardless of regardless of who it hurts.
Oh my gosh!
But it is what it is, brothers, because that is the only way forward. Nick is a Brown. I don't know if he is. I mean, it is Spanish. I don't know if Nick is actually a Brown, but
I think it's one of those cases where the name lasted long. The Spanish name lasted longer than the genetics did. Because
well, I mean, the Spanish.
Even if you're like, oh, he's a dirty Mexican, he's white passing.
If it actually came from Spain, then he's not.
What he says is his mom is 100% Italian. And his dad is Spanish, like he has a Spanish mother and an Irish father, or the other way around.
I don't care that much.
Okay, I mean, I don't. I can't listen to this low IQ anti-Semitism.
In particular, I swear you could feel the 5G
Yeah.
Like there was.
This is a clip from the the Hodge Twins podcast. I didn't watch it. I just figured we check this out. It was talking about Nick Fuentes, so I felt like it was relevant. We'll see.
There was an air. There was a dangerous atmosphere. It wasn't a vibe. It was like an actual like brain thing. Like I felt it in my head. And people, we got as soon as we like about 20 minutes, maybe 15 minutes on this street in like a nicer area. We had a lady drive by in an Acura MDX with kids in her car, and she was screaming, "Fuck white people! Fuck you, crack!" Do you remember what she said?
Yeah, she's like, "Kill white people."
Kill white people.
That is crazy.
And then another guy, he was doing a street scam thing. He was like, "Can I get some money for my dead son? Can I get some money for my dead son?" Pulls out his Cash App or his Venmo. And he takes Chris's time, so I go up to get Chris away from him, and he starts like fake clutching, like he's got a gun. Like, "You want a problem, motherfucker?" This happened in like a 3-minute period. So yeah, Chicago. They're doing some experiments on people in Chicago. It's not good.
Yeah. You know who lives in Chicago? Nick Fuentes.
Does he live in Chicago?
I said, "Why the hell do you live in Chicago?"
Well, he had that person come to his doorstep.
Yeah. I don't know why he's still there.
Easy with Elijah.
He's got all his family's there. You'd be better off in Rhode Island, motherfucker.
Yeah, Nick's. Well, he's coming out to do Fish Tank.
Oh, really?
This was Nick announced the other day that he had a collab that kind of didn't go as like he wanted it to. I think that's what this was.
I heard about that. I wasn't sure what he was talking about. I thought maybe he was in a debate that he lost.
No, I think it was a Sam Hyde collab that kind of fell through because Sam's Fish Tank they shut everything down for like a couple days and it just came back live today. And I think Nick was supposed to do a show up there, but he didn't because it wasn't up. And so I think that's what he was talking about when it fell through.
He just couldn't get there, or
well, it wasn't live. There was no point in him going if it was.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So maybe he'll stay in Rhode Island or something.
Should put him in card jiu-jitsu too.
Yeah.
Put him in there with a black chick.
Find an 80-pound black chick.
Yeah, you gotta find a 50-pound black chick. Put a 200-pound black chick. Fuentes in the car. That's gonna be your most viewed episode.
Just have Nick choking some fat black lady.
And Nick Fuentes beating the shit out of her.
Oh my god.
I don't know. I've been on a Sam Hyde kick lately, so I figured I'll share that to y'all boys.
He's super funny, dude.
Yeah. Hey, Sam.
Have you ever seen...
Swing by the studio.
Have you ever seen... I mean, of course you have. Like, his probably was Nick Rochford. What? You got to watch their clips from their podcast. Because I don't watch... You have to pay for it. But they post clips, and I just watch the clips, which are like 12 minutes long. It's like a whole isolated point. But they're super funny, dude.
Yeah, we'll have to check it out. Did we finish this?
No.
This is what people care about? This is what you're supposed to care about? You know what? The thing is, I could sit here with my highlighter and my notepad, and I could have ChatGPT read these things and summarize them for me, which is what I would do. I could go through these and have, my little legal pad where I'm typing up my debate notes. How about this, though? You're Indian. It's a show on the road. I'm going to talk to you about your country. Please. Up. Got water on the vintage video gear. Whoops. It's already floating down the stream. Chris, can you get me a bucket? It's already dripping everywhere, Chris. Emergency. There we go. Hey guys, welcome to the Sam Hyde Show.
You're getting called a slur.
I told you that's like go to the CC.
Where?
The CC. Click around there. No. Like don't click the time.
I'm supposed to be doing here. Hopefully,
not a bad route to go. I think they're ensure that your kids have the same knife in their head that makes them retarded. Attitude is everything, bro. You have to have an all-terrain personality. You have to be ready for whatever comes. Whatever boneheaded thing you think you're going to send your kid to college for. You go up to see Snow and you don't... Doctor! What if doctor is completely automated away and becomes all the time in your head. And that's why if you
Go to
don't
the very end,
like
it might be
swearing,
there.
there's like a Redditor consideration possible. They're going to give you none. Anytime you even open your mouth to do anything that's not derision, you're losing. You're accepting their proposition. That what you know, the same way you know that the sky is blue, what an American is, when you accept that your knowledge of that can be affected by somebody's paragraph, you're already losing. So these people, when they come to you, when you see them, the only thing you should have to say to them is, hey, faggot, that's it. That's all you need to say. You don't need to say anything else. Within your community, within your Discord, within your friend group, whatever, you can have whatever discussion you want. But if it's an outsider who's here telling us how to do business, that's not in the game plan. That's not part of the show. That's not happening. All right. So I'm not saying you need to not think about these things and not talk about them with your friends.
Totally
whatever.
off topic, but this
But
is
when
a
an outsider
podcast,
comes
so
here,
screw it.
gets in your
Can you
face,
pause it real
and starts
quick?
throwing definitions at you,
Because I think
gotta
everyone has seen what we're talking about. Is like, screw you're Indian. You can look for it
Yeah.
while I talk.
You're getting called a slur.
But yeah, you're getting called a slur.
Dude, if Nick pulls
There's
that out
something-
mid-debate tomorrow or tonight,
a Jeet.
You're getting called a slur. Like you're just.
So
if he quotes Sam Hyde in that debate, just on the Vivek thing, that would be
funny.
That'd be top tier, dude.
So the thing I was going to bring up is this. He mentioned Discord and he went, "Oh, have you ever been on Discord?"
Not really.
I think there's like some MK Ultra. I don't know if it's the lights. I don't know if it's like the vibe of it. I think being on Discord makes you into a faggot, like a spiritual faggot, because I have friends who like are good buddies of mine, and then like they invited me onto Discord to like play games online. Their chats, their discussion rooms that they were in, it was like just the most faggot shit imaginable. I'm like,
Like, what do you mean?
it made me
Like,
go
I
like,
don't understand.
do I even know who you are? Like they had one, it was like the bro code. And it was like 150 things. It's like if your bro dies while lifting weights, put more weight on. You know, like stuff like that. And I was like normie brain meme shit. You know, like just like this the most like faggot shit imaginable. You know, like what Andrew Tate LARPers think. Like smoking cigarettes is cool, that kind of crap. Just like LARP crap. And it was like friends of mine that I didn't think were like that. And I was like, there has to be something about I've never met a Discord person that didn't turn out to be a huge faggot. It either attracts faggots or turns people into faggots. But there's a fag
It's probably
corollary
a little
going
bit
on
of both.
Discord.
Breakout agrees with you. Discord turns men into gays and boys molested. Gags.
It's funny. He's trying. Well, granted, I guess typing it actually, you're more likely to get
K-Dub
banned.
talked to a girl, not his wife, on Discord, and then he got a divorce after yelling at people for.
Who's K-Dub?
He's a. All in theology, I think, is what he was under.
Oh, like a
he's
Christian.
he's one of those influencers that think themselves as high and mighty, and then they just fall because they're just so prideful. I feel like I have a little bit of humility. I've already told you I might be wrong one time. Might be wrong.
I might be wrong. Waiting to figure it out though. Wild Randy says Reddit brain. Literally Reddit. I mean, Discord is just Reddit now. K-Dub, he's a Christian rapper.
Is he a rapper? It was like All In Theology. What was his name? I don't know. He doesn't exist anymore. But dude, the rap thing really like
here's
irks
the thing.
me too.
Even because I believe Christ is the great unifier. Like Christ, God, he spans past all things. You know, like race, all these things. Like we can truly be unified in Christ. So it pains me to say this, especially when you're like online. If you, it's kind of like around blacks never relax. If you're watching a hip-looking young black dude talking about God, you gotta be a little. You gotta really give it a little bit of an extra attention. You know, don't let your guard down just because I've heard some stuff from people of that ilk like talking about Jesus, and I'm like, be careful.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you have an average IQ that is a standard deviation below someone else, your ability to understand, like there is logic baked into scripture, right? It's not everything is to be able to be plainly read. And so when you're relying on someone to interpret something and they're borderline retarded, do you expect it to be correct?
Yes, and I think a big part of it is it kind of like a impulse control, delayed gratification. That's a problem in the Black community, and basically, I think what happens is you get like young Blacks when they convert to Christianity. There is this thing like when you actually convert from a non-Christian to a Christian, you get this high, and I think they just get too excited, and then they don't like Nala.
Yeah.
Whether, if her conversion is genuine, which I'm skeptical of, it's like what Andrew Wilson says. It's like, but you need to reflect on your mistakes. You don't get to go out there and start telling other people what to believe about Jesus.
Right.
You just converted. You're not on the same page from the start. Like they ignore sanctification, basically. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Chad, I was trying to find something while Josh was talking, but I'm not going to be able to, I guess. Oh, boy. Anyway.
God, Peter Thiel, the gay.
But we're going to dive
the
into some
gays
of
catching
Dinesh
up.
stuff. Like I said, I haven't watched any of his stuff, so we're going to just kind of peek into the, we'll take a little peek into the looking glass and see what is going on. I guess I'm not going to be able to find it. Oh, well. All right. That's a Lindsey Graham thing. Sorry, chat. Let's go back here. Let's start here. Well, let's start Wikipedia. Say what you will about Wikipedia, it is relatively decent. I'm not going to use it for its credibility on writing an article or an essay or video or whatever, but we can take a look at it and say, hey, Dinesh D'Souza was... What is that? What is that, Josh? What does that say?
Born in Mumbai.
Born in New York City.
Born in Mumbai.
Born in Chicago. Born in Mumbai. Does it say also known as Bombay? I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
Huh. We learned something, chat. Mumbai is Bombay. I guess that's in English. Translate. Mumbai. Yeah, Bombay. Bombay is English. We're going to say that. He was born in Bombay. Non-English name. Let's just for gigs, just for giggles. Let's go to the Civil War Registry.
Didn't pick up most of it.
Oh boy.
While you do that, I got to run to the bathroom.
Nope. Not allowed. All right, we're going to go here. We're going to type in D apostrophe ish za. Hey, chat, I want to over under on... Oh, let me fix this. Over under on 0. Is there anyone? Is there anyone on this registry with the last name D'Souza? Just give me like one. There's a delay, so I'm gonna go ahead and click go because I can't wait. Oh man. Is this the end all be all? No. But what it is, if you're not on here with this or your, okay, I'll give him the benefit of doubt. What was his mother's name? Let's see if we can find his parents. We'll go to, I guess you go to early life. Personal life. No, it needs to be. Golly, look at all his books. He wrote so many books, Josh. Look at all of them. Books, look at all that credibility. What is FBI? New York Times quoted D'Souza saying on Twitter, the FBI is the largest criminal gang in the country. It's America's version of KGB. Okay, woohoo. Why can't I find family? I feel like I'm missing something here. guess not. Anyway, yeah, it says right here that his son-in-law is Brandon Gill. Dude, I did not know that. Kind of throws another wrench into things, boys. He's not American, correct. He is not American. 0 is the correct answer. Anyone that guessed anything over 0, you are wrong. And it was an obvious. Hey, everybody. It was an obvious guess. Zev, go check on Josh. Josh is okay. I think he can handle it. Just Google it. No, I don't want to Google it. I want to read his stupid Wikipedia. Josh was in the bathroom for less than a minute. Did he do anything or just go take something? Well, the bathroom is just kind of like...
The bathroom is outside.
Outside. So, is what it is. Born in Bombay, India. Do your Indian accent, dude. Why can't I do... Born in Bombay, India. 1961. Grew up middle class family. Well, they have... so he's not... What's the higher caste over there? Why am I blanking? Brahmin.
Oh,
He's not Brahmin.
Brahmin. He's not Brahmin.
Not Brahmin.
Oh.
That's interesting. His parents were Roman Catholics from the state of Goa. Gohan Catholics. Ethno-religious community adhering to the Latin Rite. Catholic Church, Goa State, in the southern part of the Goan region along the western coast of India. How are Catholics... How is any group of Catholic ethno-religious? The basis of Catholicism is a Catholic religion. I'm going to have to look at that one. Is a universal religion, a universalist. They deny nationhood. Where his father was an executive with Johnson & Johnson and his mother was a housewife. He attended Jesuit St. Stanislaus High School in Bombay. Graduated, went to Sydenham College, ended up at Dartmouth, I believe, Patagonia University, blah, 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 Dartmouth, Bachelor of Arts. Anyway, ended up with Reagan. He was a political advisor, I believe. Can y'all read everything? Do I need to zoom out? It's a little tight. It's okay. Y'all will be okay. As well as a piece mocking affirmative action in high school written from the point of view of a black student and phrased in Ebonics. Okay. When was this? It had to be like 2000. Anyway, so he's been around for a long time. Guys, he wrote books. He authored books. He authored books. The End of Racism, which he claimed that exaggerated claims of racism are holding back progress among African Americans in the United States. Yeah, that's what's holding them back. Not themselves. Josh, we need to read the books. We got to read all the books before we can talk about him. He defended the Southern slave owners
$39.99
and said the American slaves were treated like property, which is to say pretty well. Sousa called for the repeal of the Civil Rights Act, 64, argued, what year was this? 95? I wonder if he would make that argument today. Black rage's response to black suffering and failure reflects irresistible temptation to attribute African American problems to history of white racist oppression. Wow. You also have to think that Wikipedia probably has it pretty significantly left-leaning, trying to make him out to be a good guy to us, a bad guy to them. So that's his Wikia. We're just going to kind of jump around, take a peek at some of his videos and see how this goes. But before we do that, chat, we're going to catch up real quick. I think Josh needs to pull his Groiper card and get Nick on outside the Overton for a conversation. Dude, if anybody's got access to anybody, I'll have them on. Like, I don't care. But yeah, we're working on some stuff like that. It just takes time, dude. We just don't have the numbers to pull people in. Gone Catholic's not very Catholic. I would assume so, given that an ethno-religious Catholic cannot exist. Like, I don't know how to actually explain that. Like, it's contradictory. Like Catholicism, like E. Michael Jones says race is a construct. He must say that because he's a Catholic, but then the retard also says that Jews are God's chosen people. Idiot. Anyway, Catholicism by its very nature is a universalist religion which denies the nationhood. But if a gone Catholic is an ethno-religious Catholic, it is self-defeating. This is why most Catholics, which is kind of an issue I take with Nick, is Catholics can't be nationalists. Right. Crusader just said this. You can't be a nationalist and a correct Catholic. I mean, I guess you could. You just have to have cognitive dissonance. And you got to compromise somewhere. Anyway, let's I just want to take a look at Dinesh. This is like a year ago. I kind of picked up some of his more popular videos. This is one. It's called Whose Land? Is it just talking head the whole time? With a bunch of ads? Money laundering?
And you can choose where you want to go. And this is the film to see with as many people as you can round up. It's kind of a wonderful experience to not only individually experience the film, but then talk it over with others. Now, if you want to watch at home, no problem. Later in the week, that's next week, Friday, October 27th, this is the first time you can watch the film at home. It's the virtual premiere, so it's very cool. We have a marvelous studio in Las Vegas with a giant...
Since he's talking about that film, let me take a look at what he's talking about. I think... Josh, have you watched any of his films? I think one of the most recent was like 2,000 Mules.
No, I haven't watched his films.
Unite a country and stop slavery. Democrats smeared. Lincoln was elected to unite a country and stop slavery. Democrats smeared him, went to war against him, assassinated him. Now their target is Trump.
I also don't understand.
Real quick, here's the thing. And those Jew videos I sent you, we got to watch them because this is just from a production. This is from a media making point of view. There's some people clearly like Indians. They have a pride thing going on. Get someone else to voice your movie,
especially if it's American. If it's about America, and they can't do it, dude.
I know. And he's got to put his face on the marquee. You know, it's like, dude, like you can even be in the movie for like a second to like contribute something, you know, like where you cut to people like an interview style. But for you to narrate it, you don't sound good, dude. The quality's not.
He has the back and he has the funding. I mean, he's astroturfed infinitely. It's not like he doesn't have someone to do that.
Donald Trump wins the presidency. So help me God.
They say he's killing America.
There will be a vote to impeach.
They say he's a racist.
Green just tried to impeach him again like 3 days ago or something like that.
This was a white lash.
And a fascist. Who are the real racists?
Northern Democrats had conspired to get...
The real racists are the Democrats.
That's right.
The real racists.
Together with Southern Democrats to take away the fruit of other people's labor.
Who are the real fascists?
Both Mussolini and Hitler set up and ran welfare states.
This was done by the do-gooders, the liberals, the people who wanted to improve society.
Which party attacks our free speech?
The real fascists, Josh. The Democrats are the real fascists.
Dare you speak against the villa?
Our religious liberty and our personal safety.
Did you see that?
No.
I got one of those.
The truth bomb.
Can y'all see that? Anyway, I thought it was neat.
A nation dies when its people are not free.
No, a nation dies when it suicides itself by letting in foreigners that don't belong here. That's how nations die. Buchanan wrote about it. He wrote books. Buchanan wrote books. He's got good credibility. That's how it works, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We too must fight for freedom, regardless of the price we pay.
An end in terror.
This lecturing of freedom, right? This is the same. It goes in the same vein of fairness and just and merit. It's like we don't care about freedom anymore. You keep preaching freedom. I don't want freedom. I want liberty. I want to be able to go to the gas station. I want to be able to practice being a Christian. I want to be able to practice being American in America. You don't belong here just because you say, I believe in freedom. It's an overused word, and it's been leveraged against Americans and the people that established this country.
Is preferable to a terror with no end.
The stakes could not be higher. We're talking about America, the greatest nation on earth. Lincoln saved America for the first time.
No, Lincoln got 600,000 Americans killed, which I just looked up 10 seconds ago that you and your family were not a part of.
It's now up to us to save America a second time.
What the fuck is us? Who is us, Josh?
Like, so cheesy.
Who is us?
You and me, we are the
I like this. I like bashing stupid Dinesh. You're getting called a slur. Ninja, what? Where have you been, dude?
What the heck, dude?
Oh, boy. Ninja, back in the chat. Iran isn't over as long as they are Muslim. We're going to 1864 it and say we were always at war. Well, Iran isn't over as long as Iran exists and Israel is in existence. They want a single state solution, and that single state is Greater Israel. And until that happens, we're always going to be at war in the Middle East. We're on like a 2-month hiatus. I give it 2 months. They're too busy bombing Gaza to focus on Iran right now. I think we covered that the other day. Fixed it for you. Dinesh actually sucks. Okay. His political documentaries are horrible. His history docs are not worth it. Yeah, well, this is the thing that I've noticed just across the board with the non-Americans. Even Elon, especially with his outlandish takes yesterday and the day before, it's like non-Americans are politically illiterate. Like they just don't understand American politics. No matter how long they've studied it, they don't understand the concepts that push it. Josh and Zeb want impeachment too now, right? I mean, I wouldn't push for impeachment. I don't think anything changes if impeachment happens. Except maybe we get like a VP, like Palantir. Like instead of electing someone as VP, we'll just get the crystal ball, the Palantir ball. It might actually be an upgrade, Josh.
Might be.
Yeah, it might be. Tyrone, order. I don't know what we're talking about here. Lincoln killed more Americans than Hitler killed Jews. That was
What was the Red Cross 271?
Yeah, 271. Elon posted something earlier. Said he posted a tweet said, something about physics can't be. Dude, I'll have to find that tweet. But he's talking about how physics is a universal law and it can't be skirted. And then somebody tweeted at him, so how many pieces can I cook in the pizza oven? Or something like that. Trying to pull the cookie question out on him. Randy, yes, that is too much to ask for, apparently. You have nowhere to go to. Where are you going to go? Back to Europe? Europe is just Africa now. See, this is a problem. This is what I was talking about to Josh the other day, where, was it yesterday? We were talking about the future. In the past, the civilizations that have had technology to save themselves by going to a new land were able to do that, right? This is what Ireland is. This is what the British Isles are. This is what America is. This is what Australia is. We were able to create boats, technology, and find new land to establish a new colony or new nation. Now there's nowhere to go. I mean, where are we going to go? Antarctica, Josh? They going to let us over the ice wall?
You don't have neither of us have 8, 10 eyes, so I'm pretty close.
Dude, my dad does.
I know.
My dad's are like
you got,
white.
like, hypnotic.
His are white, dude. I didn't get that one. Hopefully the baby does. We'll see. U.S. is a set of ideas. I think that's tongue in cheek.
It is.
Let's see.
Yeah. Wild Randy's based.
Let's see. Listening to us talk is painful. It's word salad. A tech billionaire trying to sound like a genius. Yeah, me and Josh talked about Elon Musk yesterday. Is he smart? Sure. Is he a genius? No. Is he retarded? Definitely. He's just. I think if you boil it down, he's just an anon. If Elon Musk didn't have his money, he would just be some random anon meme posting on the internet.
Yeah.
He's just one of us that got lucky. I say us.
Yeah.
But I mean, it takes work to get a little bit lucky sometimes. So I'm not discounting that entirely. The police state trailer.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic.
Chief Division Counsel and DOJ have approved a no-knock for each. We want the subject to be on display, doing the walk of shame, full visual impact. Any questions?
Are we becoming a police state?
Government told American citizens they couldn't go to church on Sunday.
I've never seen anything like it. It may be the Russia other people grew up in, but not my.
Bandongino.
Was that Brandon Gill?
Are we becoming a police state?
Government told American citizens they couldn't go to church on Sunday.
No, that's Jim Jordan.
Nope. In the car with the camera.
Oh.
Government told American citizens they couldn't go to church on Sunday.
I've never seen anything like it. It may be the Russia other people grew up in, but not
dude,
my.
What has Bongino done, dude? He threw his career in the trash to do what? Sit behind a desk and not yell at people? Not yell at a camera? Dude, this is the best thing in the world. I just get to yell at a camera and you get to listen to me all day. Bongino does what now? Say,
lies.
Oh, Jeffrey Epstein, he really did. He did kill himself. I saw it with my own eyes.
Well,
after railing about it for years.
How could he not? It was him during the interview.
What a waste, dude. He probably went in there wanting to do something. He got there and then it was like, you can't do anything.
FBI warrant, come to the door now.
There's a heavy banging at my door. Open up. It's 15 marked units on my property. I got SWAT in the back of my house.
They took a battering ram to my door.
6 a.m. I hear.
For the record, I'm not opposed to a police state. I just want it to be leveraged against non-Americans.
Fair.
Okay.
Boom, boom, boom. And here are about 6 to 8 military-style soldiers, with the tallest one of them pointing an automatic rifle at my head.
FBI, we have an arrest warrant.
Shock you up.
Chad said, Bongino and Patel are foreigners that boomers elevated. Yes, and then you have the one over them, which is Bondi, which is a female trying to run a law enforcement agency. This is the problem. Nowhere in there is an American running an American organization. Americans need to hold office. not females for the sake of, oh, they're hot and blonde, right? Trump needs to get over this idea that hot blondes can do things.
Well,
like that's a major fault that Trump has.
They're good when you're running a campaign.
Yeah.
And like, as blondes go, Carolyn Levitt, she's good for what she's done so far. I mean, yeah, but like Pam Bondi, clearly.
The press secretary doesn't carry as much weight as I don't even know what Bondi is.
The Attorney General.
AG. Like,
Yeah,
okay,
she should
press
not-
secretary,
she should not
okay,
be
you
in
need
that
to have somebody that's well articulate, halfway attractive. Okay, blonde, don't care. All that is a regurgitation. But when you're running the entire Justice Department, when you're AG, when you're running the FBI, CIA, whatever Bongino is, he's like Kash Patel's vice runner or whatever he is. You need to have Americans that understand the country. And it's just like I said, these foreigners don't understand American politics. They are politically illiterate. I don't know what it is. It's to quote Mark Levin, it's in their DNA, Josh.
Mm-hmm.
He said it, not me.
Out of sleep, drag you out of your house, have clothes, refuse to give you a warrant, ransack your house.
Now I'm facing 15 years in federal prison
for doing nothing other than exercising my right to free speech.
I had no reason to be attacked.
I hope that you remember Matt's name and the role you played in killing him.
How did we give the state this kind of power?
9/11 changed everything. We're going to expand the Bureau from law enforcement to domestic intelligence. Legal shackles are now off.
It used to be Islamic terrorism. That threat is kind of dissipated.
Our focus is shifting.
Dude.
They're moving to domestic extremism. It really paints anybody who's right of center.
What we need is a person to look at. And then we go find out what crime you did.
If you're a pro-life, pro-family Catholic, they define you as radical.
The demand for domestic terrorism vastly outstrips the supply. When candidate Trump came down the escalators, the government had a meltdown.
We are going to drain the swamp.
We'll see about that.
You take on the intelligence community, they have 6 ways from Sunday at getting back at you.
At this point, Chuck Schumer's right, dude. Chuck Schumer's right. He wins. Chuck Schumer wins. Have we drained the swamp, Josh?
No.
How much longer do we need to drain the swamp?
1,000 years.
The Patriot Act and FISA were used against Donald Trump.
Google literally rewrote their news algorithm.
Dude, Rand Paul's an idiot too. He's politically illiterate. Like these guys, they keep wanting to crush the bill because of deficit spending, because of the national debt. Dude, you can't fix it without funding deportations, dude. It's not complicated. The interest alone is like $2.5 trillion a year. Even if we cut the deficit down to zero, even if we just maintained what we have right now, didn't add anything new and cut Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security across the board, even defense spending, you still aren't even able to pay off the interest on it. The debt doesn't matter. And people like Massey and Rand Paul that are running cover for whatever libertarians are getting in the way of deportations actually happening.
Based upon what Trump was doing so that they could get this guy.
You just take out the word Russiagate and you put in COVID origins. You take out COVID origins and you put in Hunter Biden's laptop. You take that out and you put in January 6th. It's the replicated play from the deep state and their partners in the media.
They're not just deplatforming you. They are trying to throw people in.
Dude, has Kash Patel given us anything on January 6th either?
Kash Patel, he's not done a thing. He's not done anything.
They had a photo op though. They had a photo op for the JFK files.
Prison.
If they're coming for me, they're coming for you.
Hands on your head! These are anti-government.
We have freedom of religion and freedom of speech!
Violent extremists, and they must be dealt with. We can do anything we want.
Police State. Exclusively in theaters.
Yeah, this is boomer slop.
Slop. Candace Owens versus 220 Femmes. I saw that. Was that Jubilee? I saw that. Kevin, welcome. Maybe. We'll see.
Maybe.
It was a Jubilee with Candace Owens. I saw one clip that was
we can
decent. We'll
we
see.
can do that. That'd be fun.
Candace
I'm gonna be
Owens,
gone next
Candace
week.
Owens said she got a call from Donald Trump that said he would come on her show if she let the Emmanuel Macron stuff go, the Bridget Macron stuff go.
It's because it's not real, dude. That's a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, but
it's not real.
Yeah, but why would Trump call on behalf of that?
Because he likes Candace Owens, but that makes her look ridiculous.
I think it is real.
It's not.
You haven't even looked at the evidence.
I don't need to, dude. There's
just
no
look
way.
Just look at the stupid face. I don't know. I don't know if it is or not. I know it's compelling. Candace Owens is a Fed. Everybody's a Fed, dude. I'm a Fed. You're a Fed. Josh is a Fed. We're all Feds.
Might be.
Nobody knows who's a Fed or not anymore, man. Nick's a Fed. Dinesh is a Fed. It's all controlled op. Everybody is controlled. It's just I'm not getting the funding for it. Where's my Fed funding? I want some Fed funding, Josh. Dinesh does a combo of documentary and drama style documentaries. It's very dramatic. I think it's disingenuous. It's very disingenuous too. Let's see. He didn't say he'll come on the show if he stops talking about it. He asked her to stop talking about it because France was holding up Russia-Ukraine peace over it. Really? France was holding up Russia-Ukraine peace because Candace Owens is accusing the PM of marrying a tranny? Ian Carroll is definitely questionable. Fed? I don't know. Yeah, dig into Josh. I think he's a Fed, dude.
You're the one that was in the Marines.
You're a Fed, dude. You're a Fed. You're a Fed. If I say you're a Fed, you're a Fed.
You're a Fed. No, you.
Nigga's a Fed. Everybody's a Fed. You're a Fed. Where's the Oprah Winfrey? You're a Fed. You're a Fed. Everybody's a Fed. Yeah, I mean, but that is to make the point that who is a Fed? I mean, there's obviously controlled opposition out there. There's obviously funded far right commentators, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
How do you sniff them out? I think Ian Carroll is probably one. Yes.
I think Dave Smith.
Yeah, probably.
Charlie Kirk, obviously. I mean, he may not be a Fed, but he might just be bought.
Well, he's definitely bought.
Yeah.
If you look into any of those advertisers that they have, they are very questionably funded. So the advertisers are questionably funded. They're funded through shell companies offshore. Specifically, one that comes to mind is Patriot Mobile. Like, they just don't have the numbers to support what they do. And so they get questionable funding, which they use as advertisers for people like Daily Wire and Charlie Kirk. And I go out on a very thick limb here and say it's federal funding. Let's see. Randy says, I don't think Dave Smith is. He's more of a promoted opposition than controlled opposition. I'm gonna be honest. I don't care to differentiate. Sorry. Let's we're just gonna randomly hop in a movie announcement. Nice, always a movie announcement. Israel is at war. Since we're announcing things, chat, go ahead, subscribe, like the stream if you haven't. We will be live tonight, 9 o'clock. I'm gonna cover the debate immediately after with a lot of intelligent insight.
Israel is at war because of senseless, horrifying attacks from brutal terrorists targeting innocent civilians, including women and children. You and I...
This was a year ago. Let's see. When was it posted?
October 16th.
October 16th.
Oh.
So this is like immediately after.
This was what? This was almost 2 years ago.
It was almost 2 years ago.
Yeah, so this was
immediately after the
yeah, like right after
Israel's 9/11.
Yeah.
I simply have to do something to help the victims of these attacks. That's why I'm partnering with the International Federation of Christians and Jews. This is how we can do our part to help. We need to do what we can to help children and families hit by the war in Israel. It's an urgent need. And
so this is what the debate is about. Is the debate's about should America support Israel, basically?
Yeah, of course.
Right thing to do. Help Israel in its darkest hour. Phone your donation to 800-249-0606.
Dude, holy crap. We're going to be 10 minutes into this thing, and he hasn't done anything but shill a movie and shill money for Israel is at war. Like, dude, you got an intro, you got movie announcement, go buy the movie, go spend money. Israel is at war. Okay, go help fund Israel's war, even though you're already doing it with your tax dollars. What kind of sense does this even make? International Fellowship of Christian and Jews.
Again, that's 800-249-0606. Your emergency gift will help. So we say that America was originally Indian land. And of course, there's been a debate in this country about the morality of the Indian wars, one against each other, the tribes fighting each other, the white...
No. Nobody over here has debated that. That's you debating that, retard,
and arriving,
non-American.
We'll do that another day. But the Jews were the... we won't call them aboriginal occupants of Israel, but they were there 2,000 years before Christ. So...
Why does he bring up America and Indians almost as justification for taking land and giving it back to a nomadic people?
Because he believes in basically the nativist view and non-American nativist. Yeah, like why would he bring that up if his point was the opposite?
In other words, they were there 4,000 years ago. And I think what I might do, I think I'll do this... I'll do this later this week, is go through the history of Israel's presence in the region, because it's, in a way, it is the Muslims who are the colonizers. They came later, they conquered the territory by the sword, and now they're acting like they were the original occupants, and somehow the Jews are the conquering power. At the best, you can say the Jews were there, the Jews were kicked out, pushed into a diaspora, the Muslims conquered it, and then the Jews came back, and then were assigned it by the UN, and then there was a war, and that's how we got modern Israel. The 48 war, the 67 war, the Yom Kippur War. And so there was an element of conquest, I suppose, but this is because Israel was attacked from the outside.
It wasn't an element of conquest by Jews. It was an element of conquest by Western nations.
Now, I want to talk a little bit about the just war.
Just give them more stuff. We give them the land. We fight the wars for them. We just need to give them more stuff, Josh. They need gimme. It's gimme culture on another playing field. That's all it is. That's all America does. America is the world's host for every other country to be parasitic on. Except maybe Russia. China, parasitic. Israel, parasitic. Western countries through NATO and the EU, parasitic. Africa, cargo cults, parasitic. Canada, parasitic. Mexico, parasitic. I don't know about South America, parasitic.
Or theory, because there's been a just war tradition in the West. It's a Christian tradition, and it spells out the conditions in which a war is just. And these are worth going through because I think they help us think about the issue. They don't resolve the issue, but they help us think about it. Number one, for a war to be just, you have to focus really on two separate things. The first one is the initiation of the war.
What did I say?
I didn't hear it. I think he's being sarcastic. I don't know what you said.
Oh, he probably is. Sorry.
War, the starting of it. And the second is...
The sarcasm doesn't translate through text.
Conduct of the war, how it is carried out. So for a war to be initiated, it has to be in the starting point, a war that is provoked by someone else. In other words, it's a defensive war. Somebody else attacked you, or it could be that they even threatened to attack you and the attack has not occurred, but the attack is somehow coming or it's imminent or you know it's going to happen. But either way, you are not the aggressor. That's the first point. The second point about initiating a war is it should be a last resort. And by that, you don't start by fighting, you don't start by going to war, you start by asking, is there any other way to settle the issue? And if there's a better way or another way to do it, then you should try that. And now that may fail, and then you may be forced to go to war. So I think that applying these two conditions, we can see quite clearly that Israel is justified and Hamas is not justified. Hamas is not using war as a last resort, and Hamas is the one that initiated the attack. A war is just...
Bro, I hate this line of thinking too. He just laid out, Josh, he just laid out decades, almost a century of war, and then say, he follows that up with, Hamas was unprovoked.
Yeah. I mean, like, he's clearly in on the take.
We fought this war in 48. Yeah, we fought this war in 47 for them. But Hamas, they were unprovoked. They just want to go to war because they are fighting people.
Yeah.
Like,
it comes from the lie that, like, Israel wants peace. It's clear they're clearly provocateurs as well. And that's why I think, like, this whole debate of, like, well, who started it? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who started it. We need to finish it, not by helping one side or the other, but by finishing it.
But we can't. You know why? I might quote Donald Trump here. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. I think that's
Israel
the most
knows what it's
statement.
doing. Israel knows what it's doing.
I don't know, man. I think it does, but on some level, I think it knows what it wants.
Yeah. Well, that's
and it will do whatever to get that thing.
Mm-hmm.
But negotiations aren't on the table. Negotiations, deals are a Western concept.
Mm-hmm.
These people don't want deals. They want war. Israel is not a Western country. It's not a white country. They don't want deals. They want war. These are a warring people. They are nomadic. Now that they have their land, they want to destroy everything around them.
If it is waged by a legitimate authority.
To quote Mark Levin, to quote Pete Hegseth, it is in their blood. It is in their DNA. That's not me. I'm quoting that's them.
In other words, some group of a gang cannot start a war. It has to be a legitimate authority. In the case of Israel, it is. In the case of Hamas, it's not. A war, and it's now returning to the conditions of the prosecution of the war, it needs to be fought with a reasonable chance of success. And I think Israel does have a reasonable chance of success. And the ultimate goal of the war is to reestablish peace. In other words, it's not perpetual war. It's war for the purposes of creating a new circumstance, a new peaceful condition in which things can go better.
I just want to address this. I know Randy kind of mentioned it. Christianity is a Trojan horse for Jewish influence. On the back of this, I mean, this is a good comment. They can't send in Matt Walsh or Charlie because they have to send in Dinesh. Right? I don't think.
Although this is an old video.
Yeah, this is an old video, but I think the point stands on the debate.
For the debate. Yeah.
Christianity is a Trojan horse for Jewish influence.
You're throwing the baby out with the bathwater.
Yeah, Randy said that's dumb. Adam Green nonsense. Corey Muller destroyed Adam Green in his debate. I would highly recommend that writer. That debate with Corey was on, I believe it was I Hypocrites channel. Check that out. It's not that Christianity. I almost. It's a perversion of Christianity that is a Trojan horse for Jewish influence. Right, it's this dispensationalist position, and that isn't real Christianity. I don't think it is I think dispensationalism is not theologically correct, which is why allows for this Trojan horse. But I mean, there's obviously a disagreement with language that we're using here. So take that of what it will. What retards? You mean Protestantism? Ninja is Orthodox. And I mean, he kind of has a point, though he's still wrong. Sorry, Ninja.
But the most important and applicable condition here, and this is really where the difference between Hamas and Israel is the starkest, is in a just war, you cannot target civilians. Now, civilians die in many wars, perhaps in all wars, but they should not be directly targeted. Now, Hamas directly targets civilians. Israel doesn't. This is a huge moral chasm. And the left often tries to blur this distinction by showing, oh, here's an Israeli...
Well, this was a little over 2 years ago, or a little under 2 years ago. I think they kind of blew that one out of the water, didn't they, Josh? Didn't they just like strike like all of Iran stuff and then go in and flatten Gaza because, quote unquote, they were using kids as human shields?
Pretty much.
And here's a condition here, and this is really where the difference between Hamas and Israel is the starkest, is in a just war, you cannot target civilians. Now, civilians die in many wars, perhaps in all wars, but they should not be directly targeted. Now, Hamas directly targets civilians. Israel doesn't. This is a huge moral chasm, and the left often tries to blur this distinction by showing, oh, here's an Israeli child, and here's an Israeli civilian, and here's a Hamas child, or here's a Palestinian child, and so there's an attempt to create a moral equivalence, but there's a big difference between going into a home and raping a woman and killing the children, let's say, or even killing the man who's a shopkeeper. He's not a competent. And on the other side, Israel hitting a Hamas communication center or a Hamas meeting facility, and the meeting facility could be in a hospital or it could be in a home, and you hit the home, but you're not trying to kill civilians. You're trying to strike at the Hamas combatants, the Hamas terrorists, and children or civilians in general are regrettably killed as a consequence, or in what is sometimes, I think, somewhat antiseptically called collateral damage. But collateral damage is not the same thing as the intentional killing of civilians. During times of economic uncertainty and
this one here?
Yeah, maybe react to that one a little bit. And then, Chad, I'll be back in a minute.
Whose land? All right. All right, chat. Just you and me.
Nick is loaded up here if you want to watch any of that from last night.
Okay.
Other than that, I think we covered just about everything.
Yeah, I mean, Dinesh D'Souza, I mean, as American nationalists, as essentially... as essentially white nationalists. Clearly, Dinesh D'Souza. What I want to know is does Dinesh D'Souza, how in on the take is it? You know, like, is he just a useful idiot or is he controlled opposition? Because I would not be surprised if essentially he's just this like goofy Indian guy who bought into the Reaganite politics, and they let him make his fun, cute little retarded documentaries that's boomer slop for the base. And then he must know who Nick Fuentes is, but he must not like know much about him, because I highly doubt Dinesh is going to be ready for this debate tonight, which Zeb and I he's going to react to it, I think, live or after the fact. And then he and I are both going to react to it tomorrow. I think we should just wait, but we'll see.
I mean, it looks like the Oscars. We're going to have for Giotto Blow, who wrote the closing song of the movie. This is the song that runs with the credits at the end. It's called Police State Survivor. He's going to perform. Then we're going to show you the movie. And after the full movie, we have a Q&A with Dan Bongino, something new. And if it's not Trump, what about? Doesn't really make any sense. But what is at issue here is not the right of other people to live in Israel, because that right the Israelis freely grant. There are all kinds of Arab citizens of Israel. There are citizens of Israel of different ethnic nationalities. I saw it for myself when Debbie and I were in Israel last December. So Israel is not saying that their land is only for the Jews. But what they are saying is more limited, and I think completely defensible, which is that the Jews have been here for a very long time. It is quite accurate to describe this as Israel's ancestral land. Last month, the G20 group announced that it welcomed discussion of the effects of implementing central bank digital currencies in their countries. These digital currencies could allow the government to track every purchase you make. They could even allow officials to prohibit you from purchasing certain products or easily freeze or seize part or all of your money. In essence, they enable the government to control your finances. Now, concerned Americans are diversifying their assets into physical gold with the help of Birch Gold Group. If you want a physical asset held in a tax-sheltered retirement account, you should call Birch Gold. Debbie and I customers, we buy our gold through Birch Gold. Find out for yourself. Text Dinesh to 989898. They'll send you a free information kit on gold. No obligation, just information. And here's the easiest way to become a Birch Gold customer. If you have an IRA or a 401k from a previous employer, Birch Gold can help you convert it into an IRA in gold, and you don't pay a penny out of pocket. Text Dinesh to 989898, claim your free information kit on gold, and call up proof of. And what we find proof of is that the Israelites, the Hebrews, are in the land of Israel. In ancient...
I mean, you guys, like, you've all heard this before. That's just boomer slop. Let's see if Nick talks about the debate a little bit.
So that's what you classically call the Jewish problem or the Jewish question. These are the kinds of things they say. And the reason why, here's how they say that these kinds of policies tend to throw away, and said the essence of the MAGA, without any kind of blinders on, without any kind of Department of Justice, it says now they're taking citizenship.
Not always warranted, but proclaim ahead. You must.
But it's just...
Give me a second,
Good evening,
guys.
everybody. You're watching America First. My name is Nicholas J. Fuentes. We have a great show. I'm excited to be back. I'm disappointed we're not talking about Iran, though. But it's fine. We have a big show for you tonight. We got a big story. We're talking all about the Department of Justice. Get a load of this. Are you ready? Are you trusting the plan? Just when you thought it couldn't get any better in our golden age in Trump's America, there's a new memo out at the Department of Justice. It says now they're taking citizenship from naturalized citizens. Those are people that get their citizenship after they're born. And one of the reasons they will do this to people is if they're anti-Semitic. Awesome. Great. I love our new country. I love MAGA. We did it. Guys, we made America great again. You can't live here if you don't like Israel. Golden age intensifies. So we're going to talk all about that. I'm on the run. It's over. I mean, it's over for me. It might not be over for Stephen Miller. It might not be over for Peter Thiel, but it's over for me. I'm going to have to beat it and go live in Russia or something, or China or Iran. I'm not even safe in Iran. I'll have to go to the Arctic ice wall. But we'll talk all about that, and I'm not making it up. That's in the memo. It's not even an exaggeration. This is literally where we are. They're going to engage in civil litigation. We'll talk about why that matters. Civil litigation to take people's citizenship if they are anti-Semites. It's part of their wide-reaching effort to eradicate anti-Semitism. Got what we voted for. We'll talk about that. Look, I didn't vote for Trump. Don't blame me. I voted for John Pork. But we'll talk all about that. We're also going to give a big update on the big, beautiful bill. This is the sweeping agenda bill, Trump's agenda bill. It contains an extension of the 2017 corporate tax cuts.
What did I just do? What the heck? Oops.
As well as a significant amount of money for border enforcement and interior enforcement for mass deportations, among other things. They barely got it through the House by one vote. It is now in the Senate. It cleared a major vote on Saturday night, which we talked about briefly on Friday. Now today there was a vote Orama.
The Our Land thing is talking about Israel. It's basically like your baseline conservative slop about Israel.
Oh yeah. Hello? Hello?
They're just checked. Damn it. It's definitely an Indian, though.
It was a Denmark number, dude.
Denmark, South Carolina.
Oh, was it? Oh, I just read Denmark. I was like,
what was it? The area code was 803. But they basically they do that to make sure someone actually owns the phone, so they can they're verifying.
Oh, I always answer it. Sometimes I'll start arguing with them.
I used to do it. I got so tired of it. I don't do it anymore.
I wonder why they hung up on me.
Ooh.
Just to see if they had a somebody on the other end?
Yeah, they do that.
My wife got me this for her birthday.
Because typically they can verify, once they verify that a phone number is actually active, like it's a legitimate number, they can target you more effectively. I forget how it works, but yeah.
Sense. This is we have in studio with us here before we close up. Dinesh D'Souza stopped by. This is future Dinesh D'Souza after the debate. He stopped by to say, hey. Dinesh, how did the debate go? Oh, I got destroyed.
I got destroyed. You think anyone will talk like that in heaven? No, I'm kidding. Well,
that's a good question, dude.
What if you got to heaven and God had an Indian accent?
Oh, we're losing disk space. We're losing disk space.
Whoa,
disk space. That was
that's your Tim Dillon impression.
Disk space. We record 4 camera spaces at 4K, so it fills up pretty quick.
Eats up the
Let's see,
data.
Is Gypsy Crusader on the phone? Dude, here's the deal. I guess as we close up, as we come to an end, I gotta bounce out of here. But we will be back. I will be back tonight. Josh will be back tomorrow. So hit that subscribe. If you're still up, join us tonight after the debate. Gonna do a little review. And where'd Josh go? Is Gypsy Crusader on the phone? Mention him or anybody. If y'all want to reach out, dude, I'm perfectly willing and happy to go on anybody's podcast at any time, debate not anything, but almost anything, almost any position that I hold. Or just talk, have a conversation. If y'all enjoy my content, if y'all enjoy Josh's, I'm not saying badger them, but if an opportunity presents itself to, help us get out there, we would appreciate that very much. I know American Crusaders reached out to a few people. But don't badger.
Thank you, American Crusader.
But that's what it's going to take inevitably for anyone to grow is discoverability and the way things work now, everything is just so saturated with numbers that you have to have some type of breakout, like Lily. Everybody that comes to mind is a female that said a thing that we've been saying forever.
Yeah. Pretty blonde hair, blue eyed girl saying the N-word.
Sarah Stock, Lily, Gaddis. I mean, these people blow up. So
she did. I saw a video of hers the other day. I can't remember what it was, but it was.
I have a policy of no women.
It was actually pretty funny.
I have a policy of no women. I don't want to do it.
Women?
But how do you break into this stream? It's like they are the gatekeepers for some reason on the far right. Like I say we have put them in that position to be the dictators of where the conversation goes. Yeah, Gypsy's not fully white. Boomers love their foreigners and women. I think he's on Telegram. Yeah, I mean, I'll do it. I don't know. I just don't. I've never been someone to go and just seek out and spam somebody. Hey, bring me on the show.
I mean, it wouldn't hurt to like put the name out there every so often, but like check out these guys, something like that along those lines. That would be helpful. We'd appreciate that.
Here's the deal. Here's why you bring people on. You bring people on, well, partially because of name recognition, right? If you bring Sam Hyde on, you're going to get views naturally. But you want to bring somebody on that's going to give you clips that you can then farm for views. I'll give you some clips. I'll get you some clips, okay? I'll do it. Anyway.
We try.
Don't sleep till 5 a.m. anyways. If you have a stream on tonight, I don't sleep till 5 a.m. Oh, what do you do? Do you work in the evenings, Josh? You could go on a women podcast or have them on your show, but put them in their place. Yeah, but I don't want to do that on either end. Like Lily Gaddis just lives like 2 hours that way.
Where's she live?
That way. Carolina Beach, I believe.
What? Oh, well, I mean, why not?
Wilmington.
Why not?
I know the answer. The answer is why not, but it's just a principle. I just don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to deal with it.
Deal with a woman?
Yeah. I just don't want to. Josh says, I think women are great. As in, I trust them more not to steal my shit when I go to the beach. They look out for your stuff, so I'm not going to slate women, but they have no substance for politics.
Yeah, they're not. I mean, that's basically they're not good for nothing.
I'm not saying I don't like women or women are bad. I'm saying this is what we do as culture and politics. If I advocate that they shouldn't be in the space, I am a hypocrite bringing them on or going on their show in itself, and that's just not me. But again, if the principle brought you to this point, what's the saying? I butchered that.
If the rule,
dude, I haven't watched that movie. I want to watch that movie.
How's it go? He's like, "What's the most you ever lost on a coin toss?" Where he's going?
I've never watched.
He goes, "Really? It's a good movie. What does he?
Yeah,
what does he say?
It.
If the rule you follow brought you to this, what use was the rule?"
Yeah,
that's a good movie. It's fun.
If we don't get anywhere, maybe I will. I mean, that's like the only way forward. I am going to do. I keep checking on like some Jubilee stuff. They have like audition type setups for different people. I went on there. There wasn't anything for me. It's very specific with who they want on the show. Like what was it? Candace Owens and 20 feminists. Like I wouldn't be able to apply for that one because I'm not a feminist. You think I could fake it, Josh? You know what we need to do? We need to have a debate, and I'll be gay. No, I'm just kidding. And I'll. Have you ever seen the
Mission
Steven Crowder?
accomplished.
Have you ever seen the Steven Crowder bit where he does Tyler Durden.
We're not doing any gay.
I'm not gay. I was obviously a joke, but somebody can defend the other end, the other side. Like you can be Dinesh D'Souza.
Very poor choice of words.
You can be Dinesh D'Souza, or I can be Dinesh D'Souza, and you can be Nick, and we can just do like mock debates.
Like a mock debate.
Yeah. I wonder if that would be interesting at all.
You're going no. I'll do Jeet face.
Come in.
We'll have to have someone bring me rice halfway through, and I'll eat it with my hand. So you don't know what you're talking about.
I don't work. I'm at the beach. Nice. That's nice.
Are you old? Are you retired or a vagabond, or are you rich?
Where we at? Anyway, chat, we did decent numbers today. We appreciate you for stopping by. Like I said, we're still waiting on YouTube monetization. I have been looking in the Rumble. I don't know why it's not working. We can get that working. We're going to do video from Rumble, YouTube, and X. And then I don't know if I want to convert it to audio, man. I just don't know if I want to do that. Is it worth it? I don't know. Anyway, once we get some funding going, then we can hire some people to do things. Because I'm RSS retarded, apparently.
I'll help you out with it when I get back.
Yeah, we'll get it going. Yeah, Josh is leaving for a week. I'll be solo.
Yeah, my regular job.
I got 2 people lined up for interviews, so I'll definitely do that. If y'all have anybody else in mind that you think might want to do that, we can do it. And if you haven't liked it already, like the stream. If you're new here, subscribe. I know we had a lot of new people here. Wild Randy stopped by earlier. Ryder is a returner from a while back. If y'all are still in here, Kevin, boys, we appreciate it. Tyrone, breakout. Got it all. Josh, late 20s. Wow, nice. It must be nice.
What?
I wonder if he's in the military.
What do you do?
Yeah, what do you do? At work.
What's your secret?
I don't work. I'm at the beach all the time. College?
He said late 20s?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'm thinking military. Anyway. All right, brother. Y'all have a good one.
Adios.
Appreciate you for stopping by. Maybe let me see if we can end on a we need to get Spangler on outside of the Overton. Dude, Spangler is busy, like stupid busy, which he ought to be. So good on him. We'll get him on here eventually. Let's end on a little Sam Hyde. Where we at? Boom, bang.
30 years who have just been contributing good, terrible thing, and I don't want to, feel. I don't want to. If there's families and stuff, and there are tears, it's a sad thing. But we need a country. We need a country.
Yeah.
And it's this crackpot notion, and it's got to be stopped. People from these shithole countries, it's just a crackpot notion, and it's got to be stopped. Like, people have to stop thinking this way.
Yeah, thinking what way?
This is the land where everybody can come and live the American dream, because that's not.
So what?
One more thing. I think the American dream has been leveraged against the American people.
Yeah, absolutely.
At what time
for foreigners to be parasites?
In the American history do you think more eastern half to the west?
It's kind of like if we're talking and I'm losing the argument, but somehow like what you're saying is like not fair, I would just be like, but don't you think it's not fair?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like,
I'm not talking about anything being fair.
No. I'm just saying like this idea that stuff has to be logical, fair, well reasoned, historically accurate, etc. That's all. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like,
we don't care. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Outside the Overton. The caring is inside the Overton. We're here to bust it open. Pieces.